So the call looked for, I think the title itself is telling. Resounding Voices, Poetry Slam, Open Mic Session. The key word here is slam, right? And then we judged based on this criteria, content and originality. So which means from your work, we needed to hear how original your work is. So we don't say, I think I heard this before or somewhere. We also wanted to hear the theme. Did you manage to understand the theme, incorporate it, do your research, and know what are those important historic moments within the 30 years that we are talking about? Were you able to encapsulate them and capture them in your art? And also the message. Are you able to emphasize the message in your poetry? Can we remember what your poem was all about? Can I have at least one word or a chorus or something that I can think about and say, no, this person said this, if I were not to remember everything that you recited. So the message and also the emotional impact. Are you able to evoke certain emotions in the audience? Can we resonate with what you are saying? Can we feel like, I think I was there, even if I was born in 2000, I wouldn't be able to say, yeah, but 30 years ago I wasn't there, but can I relate to that, the impact that has on me? Also, we looked at delivery and performance. You can write a beautiful poetry, but are you able to deliver it? I know in classroom you have get the best, the most educated. But when you look at the CV, it's so colorful. So performance also is important that you need to work on. So we evaluated the delivery style. How well did you control your voice? The energy here. If you had a sad line, did we see it? Your energy, did it give that, okay, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm confused? Your alignment, what you say, and how you feel yourself needs to tell the picture. Also, rhythm and flow. Poetry is quite musical. Yeah? So, as you write, that art must come out. There must be that chorus that I know. There's one thing to remember from your poem, it's this and this in this line. That gives you, as a poet as well, an identity that we can be able to tell, oh, this is this kind of a poem, or a poet, or this poet is inspired by nature, or this poet is praising, or this poet is sad, or this poet is angry, or this poet is just encouraging. So that, from your tone, the delivery style, will be able to tell. So we look at things like those. And also, creativity and wordplay. You know, if there's one thing that any legislation struggles to regulate, it's art. That is why someone painted Zuma's parcels, and Zuma took that person to court, and Zuma lost. Because it's so difficult to regulate creativity. Because it's so original, it's so distinctive. You cannot even try to match people's creativity and say, yeah, maybe it must be at this level. So that is one thing that we looked at. Because the message can be clear. The language can be simple, straight to the point. But are we able to distinguish you from someone who just is so eloquent in the English language, for instance, if you are using English? Can if someone reads a speech and if you recite your poem, can we distinguish between the two and say, no, there's creativity, or it's just pure language? So those things are very important to look at. So we examined that language, the metaphors. You know, when you write poetry, one key thing that you must never forget is imagination. Let the audience imagine what you're saying. Take them through where you are as a poet. If you are in Zimbabwe, take me there. I don't need a flight if you have written a poem about Zimbabwe, for instance. I must imagine and be like, I think I get you. I think I see what you're saying. So it's very important in poetry. Not only just the message. And the application of language, the similes, the metaphors, the zimorons, those things are very important because they are able to drive the message in a way that people think in pictures. Whether you like it or not, people don't just think. They think in pictures. If you think about something, believe you me, it's there in the mind, you see it. So it's very important for a poet to consider imagination when you write. So it's one thing that we also evaluated and examined in your poetry. Also, the audience engagement. The audience engagement, so we measured the ability of the poet to connect with the people you are sending the message across. If we don't just get you, it means something is missing. Either what you are saying is not clear, either the imagination is not created, or perhaps how you say it is not in sync with what actually we see in you. If you say the sun and what you are trying to connect us to the nature, but you are saying, you see, the sun, the moon, the stars, we cannot even imagine them at this level. Show us that you are in the galaxy. Take us there. You know, how you move. We must even start to move with you. An audience, the stars. They are not here. The galaxy is not here. So that is very important as well. And we looked at it that as you recite, the majority of people seated here, are they able to follow through? Are they able to nod and say, yeah? Are they able to say, yes? Are they able to say, ooh? Are they able to be sad if you are sending a sad message across? Are they getting excited if you are exciting them? If you are praising, are they able to see the giant of a person you are praising or the nature that you are trying to bring to us? The connection, do we see it? So it's very important. And then also the body language. Are you able to take charge of your stage? Because if you are here, you are all there. This is it. If I'm here. But if I'm like, then there's a problem. We are not going to be able to connect to what you are saying. You are not going to leave a lasting impact. And also, the clarity and articulation. Sometimes people write well, but if they have to say it, it's something else. Totally a diametric opposite of, or a polar opposite of what we see. So, as much as you write, you must also learn to pronounce. Be clear. You must also learn to make sure that what you are saying is actually in the right application. Because the temptation that we must guard against is to use synonyms. Because most people, when they write poetry, they look for synonyms. You find that the synonym is far-fetched from your actual overall message. So that is very important in your clarity and even how you articulate. There is no master. No, there is a master. It's a language. It needs to be applied in the right context. The pronunciation must be correct. Even the syllables, how you stress it, we must hear that stressing of it. Or the tone, the level where you are, where you want to take us. So it's very important. And also, combining all of these things, we also looked at overall presentation, the cohesion, how well you polished your diamond, the flow of a performance. Was there a link of what you're saying, how you're moving, the eye contact? Were you able to read your room as well? And last criterion in this criteria is innovation and risk-taking. So we also assessed how the poet pushes the boundaries. If it's just a fact about the theme, are you able to take us beyond what we can see, what anybody can see, what anybody can deduce about 30 years of democracy? Were you able to research and take us beyond that? Were you able to even try maybe to weave the different occasions into your message and give us that chronology to say this is what happened, and this is where you are, and this is what I think most importantly, this is what I think as a poet, because freedom of expression is not about narrating the accounts of history. It's also about how you feel about that history. The context, where you are you able to situate us so that we can tell, oh, you are from this. When we analyze literature, we also want to understand the writer, the use of words, very important. Then you can tell, Moreroa is a Christian. Or no, this one culturally, inducted. Or no, this one is praised. This one is very political. Or this. So that we must get from your poetry and how you recite it. It's very important. So those involve the risks that you take, your opinion, bring it forth, and also the anticipation when you start, the way you introduce yourself, the message, the intro. You must also have an outro. Some of the poems, it's so difficult to remember. Actually, what's the title of that poem? Or you're trying to say, yeah, I had 10 opinions, or I had 10 messages or pieces of topics. What is the overarching theme in this poetry? So those overall are the things that we looked at. But most importantly, that we felt maybe a bit of research was missing, was just the word slam. Go research. When you enter a competition, the titling becomes very important because you must know what the judges are going to expect of you. So if we say it's a slam, which means even how you are going to recite it, the poetry that you are going to write must follow the attributes that we can say this is a slam. If we say write a sonnet, which means we are going to expect to see certain patterns in that poem. If we don't see it, which means automatically you have missed the bigger picture. So most we felt that slam part, which must be very provocative, and what was missing, it was just poetry in its normal sense, but it didn't follow that particular slam criterion that this overall theme was about. That's it.